passionate about artificial intelligence. As a devoted community builder, he co-founded Oslo AI, a non-profit organization to accelerate the development of AI communities and ecosystems in Norway. Currently, he is leading the AI business for Microsoft Western Europe. I have the pleasure to welcome Xiaopeng Li.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Xiaopeng. Today we will talk about machine learning operations, commonly called ML Ops.
Yes.
It is defined, as I found in Wikipedia, as a set of practices at the intersection of machine learning, DevOps, and data engineering.
Mm-hmm.
This is a nice definition, but what does it really concretely mean?
So first of all, ML Ops, as you mentioned, it's not a technology, it's not a product, it's a set of practices. And you put it really well, according to Wikipedia, it's at the intersection, between, machine learning, data engineering, and DevOps. So I think, if you want to really have a short definition, people would say, ML Ops is the DevOps for machine learning. Essentially, it's a set of techniques to streamline the life cycle management of machine learning, and that means we want to, make sure you can, move things from, experiment into production with speed at scale. So I would say velocity and also, scale. That's the two keywords we're trying to achieve here. So if you think about the actual techniques, which are included under ML Ops as a overarching concept, then we would be looking at three key pillars based on my personal definition, if you like. The first one is really around people. So how do you bring different roles together? So we're thinking about data engineers, data scientists, DevOps engineers, and even architects and developers working with the infrastructure, security together, so that they can collaborate along the whole life cycle of machine learning development and deployment. So that's the first pillar, people. And the second part is about the process. Obviously, when it comes to ML Ops, it's a lot about continuous development, training of models, but also retraining, but also continuous delivery of your solutions to your end customers. So, in DevOps, we talk about CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, and it's quite similar within the ML Ops concept. So that's the process part. It's a lot about automation. Last but not least, it's about the platform, right? So obviously, to achieve ML Ops, you need to have a machine learning platform which enables everyone to work together, enables the CI/CD we talked about, enables the automation, but also taking care of key factors such as security, governance, responsible AI and machine learning, etc. So that's the last pillar for ML Ops. So to summarize, I would say ML Ops is a set of techniques to streamline machine learning lifecycle management by taking into account people, platform, and process.
Yeah, people, platform, and process.
Three Ps.
Three P's.
Yeah.
Very good. And why ML Ops became so important to currently ML, AI, and different practices?
Yeah, so I think one thing is due to the fact that AI has really moved from the lab into the factory, if you like. I'm saying this because, based on, a lot of statistics from different, research papers, we have seen more and more, AI solutions that are moving from a, exploration or experimental environment into a production environment. When you move things into a production environment, obviously you start to think about things like reliability, think about scale, think about speed. So that's where ML Ops come into place. So quite often I would refer ML Ops as the silver bullet for scaling AI, right? So I think I mentioned the three Ps earlier. Within the three Ps there are different challenges, because obviously a key challenge could be how to make sure that your data engineers and data scientists work seamlessly together, because quite often the data scientists, they are those who explore the data, train the model, tune the model, retrain the model. But then you have data engineers or ML engineers. They are those who are in charge of the whole pipeline, the whole platform, and also deploying things into production. So you need to make sure there's seamless handshake between the different roles, right? And then at the same time, as we mentioned before, you also need to secure business buy-in, and you need to make sure your solution is compliant. You need to make sure the data you use are well governed. So there are so many factors to take into consideration. So that's why you need a overarching set of practices, and that's MLOps, really, bringing, the different aspects together to help you streamline the whole, lifecycle management, as I mentioned before. So I think that would be my take. I think, MLOps is really, the set of techniques that help you, enable MLOps by taking into consideration the 3 Ps as we discussed.
And if we come to the business value of MLOps, what kind of value it will bring? And you can give us a simple example where it can make a difference for a small enterprise.
Yeah, so maybe starting with the first one. So when it comes to business value, I think, obviously we mentioned about, the two main objectives of using MLOps. One is speed, the other is scale. Obviously, for companies of all sizes, the speed of development, the speed of the go-to-market is really their competitive differentiator. Yeah. So if you're able to develop and deploy, AI machine learning solutions at scale with speed, that's going to put you in the front in your competition with your competitors. So I think that's the main value, to really make sure that you capitalize on your talent and make sure they work efficiently. Yeah. So that's the first value. But then if you look at more, concrete use cases when it comes to MLOps, based on, our experience with working with customers and partners globally, we see, customers, for example, developing, solutions such as intelligent recommendation, personalized recommendation using, machine learning MLOps. We also see, machine learning and MLOps playing a big role when it comes to supply chain optimization, things like, forecasting demand, forecasting sales, but also optimizing inventory. So those are key business scenarios where MLOps can enable, and obviously they bring tremendous value to organizations who are implementing those use cases, right? And to the second part of your question regarding
the small enterprises,
exactly,
because it looks like very big.
Exactly, it could be something really big. So for small enterprises, I think maybe to start with, just to manage the expectations, because MLOps is really something for you to scale AI, right? Yeah. So normally you scale AI. Scaling AI probably would happen more in larger organizations because they have different business units, they have different departments, and they need to make sure the whole organization work together to scale AI. For smaller enterprises, obviously there are also exceptions. Some of the small enterprises, they actually have a big team of data scientists and machine learning engineers working together, building solutions. I think for them, it's about how to maximize your velocity and also your efficiency when it comes to developing and deploying machine learning solutions. So because for smaller companies, your human capitals are scarce resources. Yeah. You want to maximize the value of your talents, right? So I think that's why it's actually very important for smaller organizations to think about how they can optimize the whole workflow when it comes to developing.
Do you have an example, for example, of one of clients or business case you have been into in smaller enterprises?
Yeah, so we have obviously a lot of customers around the world working with AI and machine learning, and actually many of the customers that I have personally been working with happen to be larger enterprises. Yeah. Thinking about some of the largest oil and gas players in Norway, and also some of the largest maritime players in Norway. For smaller enterprises, I think they typically happen to be in the what we call ISV space, so independent software vendors. So they are normally tech startups. And they would leverage Azure Machine Learning or MLOps on Azure, to create their own solutions. I can't really think about a name right away, but I'm pretty sure in our, massive collection of customers and partners, there are, smaller players who leverage our machine learning solutions. But maybe just to add to that, I think, for some smaller organizations, they don't always have the competence to do MLOps at scale themselves, because it requires different competence, requires a lot of deep technology understanding. But we also see smaller players, taking advantage of pre-trained models. In the cloud, right? And so those are not really machine learning, but more what we call cloud AI services. So those are typically pre-trained models that you can use directly just as an API, right? So maybe on that front, I can mention one example, because I know that pretty well, Kahoot, right? I mean, people know this company very well here in Norway, and they're one of the leading SaaS companies building learning platform. So they're actually using Azure AI to help their platform to be more accessible to different audiences. For example, their read out feature in their gaming platform is enabled by our speech and language services. So that's one example for smaller enterprises. Without putting too much effort in data science or machine learning, you can use something pre-trained already to increase your efficiency.
Yeah. Very well. Thank you very much for coming. And it was a pleasure to have you here, Xiaopeng.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.